Alright guys, so Fula coming to you with another video. Shout outs to the whole LGBT. If you like this video, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Feel free to like the video and hit that notification icon as well, so you can stay in the loop with what we have going on this platform. Now, you know, I understand when you're trying to push your fighter and the importance of like pushing your fighter. Like, I understand that completely, you know. But there's a certain way you push your fighter, and there's a certain way you don't push your fighter. The certain way that you don't push your fighter is to discount what another fighter is trying to do when that other fighter has shown nothing but a willingness to do that, especially if it's something great. And I'm talking about Bomac and his recent interview in regards to Errol Spence Jr. The thing is about Team Crawford is this. They talk so much about Errol Spence. Like, I'm like, damn, you guys love talking about Errol Spence. You guys keep talking about Errol Spence. And I'm like, what's up, man? Like, you guys keep his name in your mouth so much. Are you gonna like let up on talking about him, or are you guys just gonna keep on talking about him? Right? And I'm just thinking to myself, like, shoot, he's not really talking about y'all though. That dude is doing what he has to do. I mean, this dude is as I said in previous videos, and I've said it in many previous videos before, this guy is actually fighting the fights that matter. He's not talking about the fights that matter. He's fighting the fights that matter. He's fighting the unification fights. He's fighting the eliminator fights. He's fighting the fights that are going to put his name on the map even more. But your guy is not doing that, Bomac. Plain and simple. Okay? Why wouldn't you take a fight with Kell Brook? Why wouldn't you put your guy in there against Kell Brook? Instead, you're putting your guy against someone, Mean Machine, who we know is not on the caliber of Terrence Crawford. I mean, I have a question for Team Crawford. Doesn't it get boring after a while fighting dudes that you know you're gonna run through? Like, doesn't that get boring? Doesn't it get repetitive after a while? Wouldn't you want to have a challenge? Someone who actually gives you some trouble? Someone that actually there's a potential to actually lose to that guy? someone that will bring the best out of you in fighting? Or are you just comfortable bashing these dudes and looking good bashing someone who's obviously overmatched? Okay, so Bomac with his haterade, he drank a gallon of haterade. He said that he doesn't know if he's like, everybody thinks Errol Spence is going to win against Sean Porter, but he's like, Sean Porter is a dog, and he's not sure if Errol Spence can, basically saying he's not sure if Errol Spence can beat him. And I can understand that assessment, but it's what he said afterward, which I was like, okay, dude is now reaching. So what he said afterward was that, and shout outs to Fight Hype, they're the ones who got the interview. What he said afterwards is that Errol Spence is not special and he's an average fighter. He said, oh yeah, he has a nice jab. He has a nice footwork, and he keeps his hands high. He's fundamentally sound. Those were Bomac's words, okay? So in one note, he's complimenting him, but in that same note, he's throwing him under the bus. Now, I'm going to say this now. As far as Bomac is concerned, all of this is really just saltiness, you know? What I'm going to do is I'm going to send Bomac a 50-piece McNugget with a bunch of fries, and I'm going to send him like a big can of salt, basically, so he can just sprinkle it on them fries, you know, to go with the salt that he already has. Because that's what it's really coming down to. I mean, look at the patterns. When Errol Spence was fighting Mikey Garcia, what did Bomac say? He said, oh yeah, I have to fight. I watched the fight. I watched it on Facebook. You know, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's funny, dude. Keep on keeping on, player, in that way. And, you know, what I'm saying is when Errol Spence and Terence Crawford do finally fight, it's not going to really be good for Terence Crawford because of the simple fact that Errol Spence is going to be even more upset with the words of the trainers. I'm going to give some examples of like how Errol Spence reacts when trainers are on the sidelines talking shit. We saw in the Kell Brook fight, the trainer was talking so much shit. What did he do? He broke his eye socket. In the Mikey Garcia fight, trainers talking shit and stuff like that. Errol Spence response, beating Mikey Garcia at his own game, putting on a masterful boxing performance, right? Sean Porter's dad is talking crazy right now. What is he gonna do? I'm expecting Errol Spence to stop Sean Porter. I mean, it's not going to be easy. Don't get it twisted. That's no simple task, but I expect it to happen, though. So, you know, with that being said, if I were Bomac, I would just be quiet, man. For real. I would just keep my mouth shut. He also said that, you know, everybody knows that Terence Crawford is the better fighter. I mean, okay, let's take this and look at it in a hypothetical way. Let's say he was the better fighter. Who would you base him being the better fighter on? Would you base that him being the better fighter on fighting a fighter with two left feet by the name of Jeff Horn? Would you base that on him fighting uh, a guy with one wooden leg by the name of Jose Benavidez? Would you base that on him fighting an inactive, going up 2 weight classes Gamboa? Or how can you really base that argument that you just put across, that he's the better fighter? Are you talking about skill-wise, about being skillful and stuff like that? I mean, you can talk all you want to about the skill level of Terence Crawford, but there's been many people who have sparred with Errol Spence, and they said he can do a lot more than he shows. And I've been saying this for the longest time. So maybe Terence Crawford is the guy to bring out the things that Errol Spence doesn't show. But in the meantime, like, if I were Terence Crawford and his trainer, I would be quiet. I would shut up, you know? I would really shut up, because what's happening is that's like kind of like gonna add fuel to the fire. You know, it may not end up being good for your fighter, Bomac, you know? And then another thing he did was he talked about where Errol Spence walks around at. Sure, Errol Spence is heavy when he walks in his walk-around weight. But does he have any problem ever making weight? Okay? It looks like he does not struggle to make weight. It looks like he makes weight. So I don't get it. I don't get why you're so concerned with what he walks around at. And then he threw another jab by saying, oh, you know, Terence Crawford, he walks around at 160 and stuff like that. He stays in shape. Okay, well, bro, Errol Spence is a gym rat. Although sometimes you may think his frame is wider and bigger and fuller, it doesn't mean that dude ain't working in the gym on his stuff, on his craft. So really miss us with this. I mean, why are you waiting to talk all this trash? Like, talk all this trash, have that same energy, like, when the fight is happening. Have that same energy and go into the ring and express that same energy, you know? That's why I don't really get down with Bomac, because he talks too much. All the good trainers, they don't talk at all. A lot of the trainers, they don't talk at all. For example, Derek James, he doesn't really talk. But the actions reflect what he does. Ronnie Shields, he doesn't really talk, but the results are there. Ismael Salas, he doesn't really talk, but the results are there. Bomac, he talks. The results are only with one fighter who fights lower par competition, you know? So my opinion is just more haterade on Bomac's part. I think the hate on Spence really comes down to the fact that Spence is Spence is in a place that he wants his fighter to be in. That's what it is. And I think jealousy is the best form of flattery. And I just really deeply think they're jealous, you know? Because let's be honest, Spence is taking place in 2 back-to-back pay-per-view fights, you know? Terence Crawford had a pay-per-view fight, and because it did so crappy, he's now having a normal fight. So that just shows you on the popularity level where Errol Spence is. You may think that Bud is the more skillful fighter or whatever the case may be. Me personally, I don't believe it to be the case. But the more popular fighter is Errol Spence Jr. And, you know, the only thing I have to say about that is, like, I mean, like, sorry to say it, but Terrence Crawford just is not really appealing. You know, that's just the bottom line. You know, even real pugilists feel that, like, Errol Spence is a throwback fighter. You know, I'm sorry to say it, but like, Bud is not really a throwback fighter. You know, Bud to me, like, and this is gonna be unpopular. Bud is just kind of like Lomachenko 3.0, because he can go on to the inside, he can be aggressive on the inside and hurt you on the inside. But he does some of the same things that Lomachenko does. And I'm sorry to say it, but he does not look like a full 147 pounder, man. I'm just gonna be real. His trunk, I know this is gonna sound dumb, but his boxing shorts don't even be looking like they fit right at 147, bro. But man, anyway, that's all I got for now, man. Leave your thoughts and leave your comments on what Bomac said. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think, in the comment sections, I want to know if you think Spence is average. Write it in the comment section, okay? But in my opinion, he's not average. In my opinion, he can look average because of the simple fact that his boxing brain is so great, you know. And we've seen it time and time again about how he systematically breaks down guys. You know, it's like this dude is like, there's two ways to look at Errol Spence. He's kind of like a lumberjack, and there's a tree, and he just chops away at the tree until it falls down. Or you can look at him as like a damn sculptor. You know, a sculptor starts with a rock, but then he just slowly but surely carves that rock into something crazy. And that's how I feel Errol Spence does. Because, I mean, he sculpted Lamont Peterson. We saw his face after the fight. And I'm gonna just end on this note that, you know, Bud is probably in for the same fate, since, you know, they're talking the way they're talking. You know, that same fate is gonna be for Bud as well. But anyhow, man, that's all I got for now, man. I don't want to be long-winded, but let me know what y'all think about this interview. Let me know if you feel like how you feel about Spence as compared to Bud. Let me know how you feel. All right, Fuller signing out. Jara.